I never thought grocery shopping would turn into a nightmare, but that's exactly what happened. As a 7 months pregnant woman, I was accused of shoplifting by a middle-aged woman named Karen. It was a situation that quickly spiraled out of control. Here's how it all went down. I was just going about my business, doing my weekly grocery shopping. As a 7 months pregnant woman, it was already difficult enough to navigate the crowded aisles and heavy bags, but I was determined to get everything I needed. I had just finished selecting the perfect apples when I heard someone shouting. Turning around, I saw a middle-aged woman waving her arms frantically. She zeroed in on me and started to approach, her eyes blazing with what I could only describe as fury. "Excuse me, miss, but I saw you put something in your bag. I think you're shoplifting," Karen said, her voice dripping with accusation. "What? No, I wasn't. I was just putting my wallet away," I replied, my heart starting to race. "I don't believe you. I want to check your bag," Karen said, reaching out to grab it. As she tried to grab my bag, I felt a wave of fear wash over me. I could feel my palms starting to sweat, and my heart was racing faster than before. I knew I had nothing to hide, yet the thought of being accused of theft was unsettling. "No, you can't do that," I protested, pulling my bag away from her. I could feel my voice becoming more and more frantic as I tried to defend myself. "Why not? What are you hiding in there?" Karen demanded, her tone becoming more aggressive. "I'm not hiding anything. I'm just trying to do my shopping," I said, my voice starting to shake. I tried to remain calm, but my nerves were getting the better of me. "You're clearly trying to steal something. I'm going to call security," Karen said, pulling out her phone. My heart sank. I couldn't believe this was happening to me. "I'm not stealing anything. I'm pregnant, for God's sake," I exclaimed, tears starting to well up in my eyes. I was desperate for her to believe me, to see that I was just an innocent shopper who had been accused of something she didn't do. "I don't care if you're pregnant or not. You're coming with me," Karen said, grabbing my arm. As she dragged me towards the store's security office, I couldn't help but feel violated and humiliated. All I had wanted to do was buy some groceries, yet now I was being treated like a criminal. I couldn't believe what was happening. This woman, Karen, was accusing me of shoplifting just because I'm pregnant. I felt like my blood was boiling. "You have no right to treat me like this," I said, trying to stay calm. "I'm not hiding anything, and I'm not going anywhere with you." Karen just laughed. "Oh, please, you're not fooling anyone. I know you're hiding something in there. Just let me see what's under there." "I said no!" I exclaimed, backing away from her. "You have no right to search me or my things." Karen's words continued to echo in my mind as she reached out to grab my belly again. I could feel my emotions boiling under the surface, but I tried to remain calm. However, I couldn't take it anymore. Her entitled attitude and constant accusations had pushed me to my limit. "Get away from me!" I yelled, my voice echoing through the room as I pushed her away. I knew that I had to stand up for myself and put an end to her toxic behavior. As I watched her stumble backwards, I couldn't help but feel a sense of relief. It was time for me to take control of the situation and put an end to her bullying once and for all. Karen stumbled backwards, clearly taken aback by my sudden outburst. "How dare you!" she exclaimed, her face turning red. "I've had enough of your nonsense," I said, my voice shaking. "I'm not going to let you treat me like this just because I'm pregnant. You need to leave me alone." As I waited for the manager to arrive, I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. My mind was racing, trying to think of a way out of this mess. Karen, who had caused this whole predicament, was still standing there with an insufferable smirk on her face. I gritted my teeth, wondering how she could be so self-satisfied when she was the one who had gotten us into trouble. Karen seemed to be enjoying my discomfort, and she taunted me with her words. "You're going to be sorry," she said, her voice dripping with malice. "When they search your person, you'll regret ever crossing me." I tried to block out her words and focus on my breathing, but it was hard to do when my heart felt like it was going to burst out of my chest at any moment. I ignored her and took a deep breath, trying to calm myself down. A few moments later, the store manager arrived. "What's going on here?" she asked, looking from me to Karen. "This woman is accusing me of shoplifting just because I'm pregnant," I said, my voice still shaking. The manager turned to Karen. "Is this true?" she asked. "Yes, it is," Karen said, crossing her arms over her chest. "I saw her put something in her stomach under her shirt, and I want to see what it is." The manager sighed. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but we can't just strip search someone without probable cause, and accusing someone of shoplifting just because they're pregnant is not probable cause." Karen sputtered in protest, but the manager held up a hand to silence her. "I'm going to have to ask you to leave the store," she said. "And if you ever come back here and cause a scene like this again, I'll have to call the police." Karen looked like she was about to argue, but then she seemed to think better of it. "Fine," she said, turning on her heel and stalking out of the store. As the woman walked away, her footsteps echoing down the empty hallway. I let out a deep and heavy sigh of relief. The tension that had been building inside me since the beginning of our conversation had finally dissipated. The other customers who had gathered around us, staring with a mixture of curiosity and concern, began to disperse, returning to their own errands and appointments. I turned to face the manager, whose expression had softened considerably. "God effing damn," she said, her voice filled with sympathy. "That was intense. Are you okay?" I nodded, still feeling a bit shaken. "Yeah, I think so," I replied. "Thanks for your help." The manager gave me a small smile. "Of course, that's what we're here for." Wow, that Karen sure got what she deserved. It's crazy to think that someone could be so entitled and accusatory without any evidence. Props to this woman for standing up for herself and her rights, even in a stressful situation like being accused of shoplifting. Glad it all worked out in the end. My mom stole $8K from me and opened credit cards in my name. I never thought my own mother would betray me in the way she did. For years, she had been stealing from me, opening credit cards in my name. But when I finally confronted her, what I discovered was even more shocking. Here's how it all went down. I haven't talked to my mom for a little over a year now, but this is the story of my mom's lies. Growing up, my mom was always in and out of jail for stealing. The last time she was arrested was in 2015 when I was 19. She always said she stole to provide for our family, but we never lived in a stable home. She would just blow money on expensive gifts and tell us we weren't poor because we had these things. As we moved from hotel to hotel, I became the financially responsible child. I worked multiple jobs, got good grades, and did community service. I was able to save up $8,500 for college with multiple scholarships. During my hard work in high school, I also helped my mom with bills and paying for whatever she needed help with. When I left for college, she was arrested again and had to be dropped off states away by my aunt for my first day of college. I asked my mom for my college money, and she said she would transfer the money when she got out. When she got out, it all magically disappeared. She blamed my dead grandmother for stealing my money. In 2019, I discovered that multiple credit cards and an apartment with late bills were opened in my name. I cried to my mom about all these issues, and she comforted me and asked for more money. I gave her more money. I graduated with my BA and went to grad school. I was able to be in grad school for 1 year with my savings before I needed to take out Grad Plus loans. I applied but was denied due to all the negative items on my credit score. My mom told me to just pay it off. I didn't. I dropped out instead. I was devastated, but I wasn't going to pay for other people's fun ride. I called all the credit companies and got the address for all the credit cards. It was my mom's address. When confronted, she broke down, saying it was my grandmother and how dare I blame her for this. She demanded an apology and didn't speak to me for a week. My grandmother died before all the credit cards were opened. I filed a police report against my mother. She doesn't know yet, but when she finds out, I am sure I will receive the best kind of text message. We stopped talking for another reason. Edit for all the comments. I have not spoken to my mother for a year, almost 2 years now. She has been blocked on everything. The reason we do not talk is on a previous post I made about how happy I am my boyfriend ruined my relationship with her. To the comments asking about why I kept giving her money, it was hard. It was either help with the bills or have no electricity, water, gas, or roof over mine and my brother's head. I didn't want to be homeless again, and I didn't want my brother to suffer either. I felt like I needed to help my family, because for so long I had the mentality that blood was thicker than water. I know now it isn't my responsibility. I was just young, and thought I was doing the best I could to provide for my family from the ages of 16, 23. I'm 26 now. Credit stuff. I have gotten a good amount taken off. Only 2 cards and 1 bill are on my credit score. Thank you for all the support and kindness. The OP left the following update, so this may not be the update everyone wanted to hear. I didn't get justice. She hasn't been arrested, and there are no charges at this time. I still have a police report, but I'm not going to push the police to make an arrest. The update is just more information that I have recently discovered. More context. It wasn't just always my mom, my brother, and me. When I was born, I shared a small 3-bedroom apartment with my grandmother, her husband, my aunt. In high school, my mom, me, and then my little brother followed. My aunt went no contact with the family in her later 20s, and I never knew why. It hurt to lose someone I was close to. I heard horrible rumors of things my aunt was doing for my mom, and my mom would also let me know awful things my aunt was saying about me. My aunt was on and off in my life after this NC. Well, fast forward to the present. I reached out to my aunt to meet her. We talked and got everything cleared. My mom stole my aunt and her father's identity. My aunt had a lot of debt she didn't know about, and when she found out, it was my mom. She pressed charges. This was the second time she was arrested. My aunt's husband, who was a cop, arrested her. I knew he hated my mom, but I never knew why. My aunt then gave me a list of family members who she also stole their identities, and everyone in the family knew it would happen to me and my little brother. The issue was how they were going to stop her. She was our mom. My aunt told me she wished my mom would have given us up, so my brother and I could have lived with her and had a normal life. I don't know why, but those words broke me so much. To know I had family that knew we were being hurt, but couldn't do much to help us. To know they wanted to save me and my brother. My aunt then proceeded to tell me my father tried to go to court to have my SSN changed and locked until I was 18. This way, my mom couldn't steal my identity. It obviously didn't work, and here I am. She told me how happy and proud she was of me. She told me she struggled when she went no contact because she felt like she left her babies behind, and she was afraid of how we would turn out. I love my aunt, and I'm so happy I reached out. I'm even angrier with my mom. How badly she isolated us into her own delusional world, and in the end destroyed our relationship. I told my aunt I didn't care that we struggled in poverty. I don't blame her for that. I blame her for how she handled it and put so much pressure on 2 children to become billionaires for her to continue her reckless spending. The OP left this second update. I am a ball of rage. I recently unfroze my credit account to apply for care credit to get emergency surgery done. Not even 2 months after unfreezing my credit, my mom applied for a new credit card in my name. I'm done. I always had a piece in me that didn't want to press charges or push for it because it was rough times in our lives, and I knew she was struggling to raise us. But now I see no excuse other than she just doesn't want the responsibility of living within her means. It has been 2 to 3 years of no contact. First, I would like to say F you to Chase Bank. The card was opened with them, and when I called to let them know it wasn't me, they told me they will see if they can close the account but need a police report first. I asked for the address to confirm it was my mom, but they kept denying my request for the address. I only got it confirmed after I told the operator, if I guess the damn address, would you just give me a yes or no? He agreed, and it was my mom's address. I am away for surgery for a while, but when I get back home I'm going to the police and requesting to speak with a prosecutor. I'm done. I'm hurt and done. I did my fucking best to raise my credit score to where it is now. I did my best to work multiple jobs to help with bills. I did my best to be her emotional support, no matter how badly she treated me. I feel like this next step will be cutting this one string I left connected to her out of sympathy, and of course it led to me being taken advantage of again. I hope to give an update on if the courts will be on my side. Edit. I'm sadly states away for this surgery, which is why I'm waiting until the surgery is over and I'm back home recovering. I don't know if I can file this report in the state I am in and it still be effective in the state I live in. I know jurisdiction can be a problem. Edit 2. Thank you for the advice, everyone. I will be pressing charges right away. My boyfriend is an attorney but doesn't work in the public area. I do have friends from my law school days that actually work in our county prosecutor's office, so I may reach out to them for some advice. They just passed the bar and are slowly getting into the routine. I also don't like to bring this up much to passive friends because it's just embarrassing. My mom and I haven't spoken in almost 2 or 3 years. It feels so long ago I really don't know the timeline. Questions. Why haven't I pushed for charges before, and why do I keep letting this happen? I really don't know if many will understand, but I have been conditioned to fear my mom. From a young age, she would punish me for not acting, speaking, or thinking a certain way. If she thought I had a negative thought about her, I was hit and yelled at. I had to beg and cry and comfort her that it wasn't true. After it was over, I would have to hold my mom and comfort her through the tears. The fear has been real even after cutting contact. It has stopped, thankfully, but I have been afraid that if I make this move, it will start again. What do I mean? She threatened to get my boyfriend and friends expelled from law school if they kept associating with me. We had to call the school and have a talk about my mom. She then threatened to report me to the IRS for tax fraud, but I always paid my taxes. She sent messages to my workplace. When I was a kid, I would be in the back seat as she drove past people she hated houses over and over to see what they were doing. That fear that she could find where I live and do this makes my stomach turn. I was afraid to push for these charges in the past because I wanted to leave it behind and continue the peace I was having. She stopped. I removed all those nasty things on my credit, and I was happy. Until now. Now I know it will never stop. After 4 years of not opening anything in my name, she went back to it. So I'm putting my foot down and taking this step. I understand I should have pushed more earlier. I do. I was scared and naive, but I'm going to stop it today. Last update until I get back home. I called my local police department back home, saying I have an update for the identity theft report I reported in 2021. They transferred me over to the detective office and said I would need to come in to make another report. I told them I am currently waiting to finish a surgical procedure and will not be back home for a few days. They said it was fine. so at this time, I will not be able to make the report until I get back home. But I'm also happy because they said I can talk to the detective when I come in to file the other report, so I hope to be making a part 4 by the end of next month with some good news. The OP left this third update. Well, it has just been a mix of emotions these past few days. My surgery went well, and my recovery should be complete by next week. I feel super good. I got cancer. I didn't expect this one. Skin cancer, which is super easy to treat and to prevent if I keep up with doctor appointments. I got this weird wart removed. I received a call right before I went into surgery saying it was cancer, and I would need to come in for some more testing and a body check. I would like to thank my mom for having me in tanning beds at 13. She said I was super ugly pale, and I believed her. She also didn't want people to think we didn't travel for spring break, so all spring break I would be in a tanning bed to look like we traveled. Wear sunscreen, kids. I got a puppy. I went to the police today and filed a report. I spoke to a detective too. I gave them all of my and my mother's information. They asked if I would like to press criminal charges, and I said yes. They are going to call the credit card company to pull the report. And if Chase Bank gives them the report without a subpoena, then we will have an easy charge and closing of the case. If Chase Bank wants a subpoena, then it will take longer to close this. I'm super happy I finally did this, and to hear that they may actually have charges to press against her. So once I have more of an update, I will post again. But it looks like it may be a couple of months before we get somewhere. Thank you everyone for the comments, messages of support, and kindness. I'm super happy where I am in life. Also, I did talk with my brother. He knows and is aware of the situation. He doesn't seem to care about his credit, but he is also still young. I'm sure he will understand soon and hopefully get his taken care of. Edit. I kinda chuckle when I read your comments commenting on my mom as an egg donor, because the surgery I just came back from was egg donation. I was donating my eggs to a gay couple I was close with at my job. They are a very sweet couple and know my family history. I've donated my eggs many times to other couples, but it makes me chuckle a little to see you call her an egg donor after coming from an egg donation cycle. Update. The police called to let me know they will be going to see her today or Tuesday to talk about the theft. If she admits to it, then we will have an easy case. I told them on the phone she won't admit to stealing. She would just blame someone else. The detective wanted to know if she had a drug problem. I told him no. She just can't live within her means. If I get a call back that she has been arrested, I will let you know. The OP left a fourth update. I received a call this morning from the detective. He wanted to hear my side of the story again. I told him about my mom's history with theft. I explained that I had filed a report once in 2021, but nothing happened. I also told him how I discovered the inquiry and how she did it the moment I unfroze my credit. He asked what I wanted him to do. I told him I would like to press charges. He asked if he went to her place, would she admit to the crime? I told him no. When I confronted her about it, she blamed my grandmother. Apparently my grandmother had powers beyond the grave to open these cards in my name. He asked if she was a drug user. I told him no, she just doesn't know how to live within her means. He said he would be going down today to interrogate her. If she admits to it, she will be booked right there. If she doesn't, then they will just need the Chase credit report. I am planning to go to Chase to grab the report and hand it to them myself tomorrow. I asked if she would know our address. He said if we go to court my address would be submitted as evidence against the identity theft, so she would know where we lived. Thank God we are renting right now. So we agreed that if we go to court, we will see how long her sentence is and plan to move out before she is released. We know she will serve time because this is her 4th time, and the judge will have no sympathy for a mom doing this to her daughter. The maximum punishment in the US is 15 years, but she always takes the plea deal, so I can see her serving either a couple of months or a year. It has been a couple of hours, and my stomach feels like it is doing flips. My head is so dizzy. The air feels so much heavier. I feel sick. I've been waiting by my phone for a call, an update, something. Did she admit? Is she booked? What is happening next? The detective then gave me the report number, and I called Chase Bank. Chase apparently hadn't processed the application, but after my call, it was put on hold until further investigation. With my report, I was able to have it denied and removed from my credit score. So I have confidence I can go into the bank tomorrow and snag that report. I apologize for any grammar mistakes here. I feel so lightheaded. I'm on edge right now. I'll update again once I have heard back from the police. The OP left this as their 5th update. So this isn't the update a lot of people want to hear. Police showed up on Friday to talk to my mom. She denied everything and said she doesn't even speak to me. Which is true, we haven't spoken in 2 years. That Friday I got logged out of my Experian account. It was weird, but I didn't think too much of it. Yesterday, I decided to use my downtime to get back into my Experian account, thinking I forgot my username and password, and that I signed up with an old email. I got back into my Experian account, and everything was different. Different email, different phone number, and username. It was like someone just wanted to control my credit file so that I wouldn't be able to access any more information. I saved the email and phone number. I just got off the phone with the detective and they will investigate this too. If it's linked to her and shows up, then we have a closed case. If not, they said they will need to wait for more evidence to come in. My boyfriend and I talked. We don't want more evidence to come in and be on high alert. So I'm hoping that this time, with all my evidence, I will be able to change my SSN. I tried back in 2021, but was denied because I didn't have evidence of it being constant harm. So I'm hoping this will help. I don't know if I will have another update on this. We are sadly moving since our address was linked to my Experian account. I also get spam calls asking to speak with my mom or text with her name. Why haven't you changed your number? I tried in 2022, but the damn AT&T people ignored my request and kept my number the same. Plus, everything was quiet last year, so I'm going to try to change it again. Also, I know this is a question. How did she get into your Experian account? I have the same 4 passwords I use for everything. She knows 2 of them. Every time I am requested to change my password, I would just rotate to those 4. I know how stupid that was. I changed all my passwords to something she would never guess, and I'm better protected. If I do have an update, I will share it. But it looks like this may sadly be it. I'm sorry this isn't the happy ending we all wanted. I wanted justice too. But please know I am happy, even during these rough times. I have been super happy since I cut ties with my mom. I have an amazing found family and friends. It's funny, my favorite movie was Meet the Robinsons as a child. How the ending wasn't exactly what the protagonist wanted, to be happy with his birth family. But I'm happy I kept moving forward and met my new family. I have so much love in my life now. I couldn't have asked for more. Final update. The police just gave me a call again. The number was linked to her, but she told the officers she helped me set up the account when we were talking. So of course her number is linked, which is a 100% lie. The officer told me straight. If we didn't stop the inquiry and allowed her to use that card for a couple of weeks, we would have been able to book her since they would have evidence that a card was delivered to her address and she was using it. So this is truly the end. Thank you all for the support and love you sent my way. I hope everyone has a great rest of their week. Wow, I am so sorry you had to go through this. It's heartbreaking to hear that a parent could do this to their own child. You are incredibly strong for being able to take action against your mother and hold her accountable for her actions. I hope you are able to move forward and find peace after all of this. Sending you love and support. If you enjoyed today's video, check out the other ones on your screen now. Submit your own stories at you'rethejerk.com. Subscribe now or you're definitely the jerk.